Okay, this is it, guys. This is it. This is the golden zone in crypto right now. There is so much good stuff, especially for altcoins brewing right now. I have to get over this. A lot has happened. A lot is going to happen. The halving has been done. We have ETFs now, but the post-halving year is around the corner. We have the presidential elections coming, QE potentially coming, money printers, the rate cuts are happening, and yet some people are still sidelined. Good luck. Good luck staying sidelined. I think that's the stupidest move you can make right now. But hey, my humble opinion, man, the market is like it's okay. Let's get over it because it's a little bullish and it's a little not completely sure yet. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Sorry for the absence. Had to take a small break. Back now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Happy Monday, man. Okay, so let's start with Bitcoin and then let's get into the juicy stuff right here. So Bitcoin is in this downtrend for 6 months. The downtrend itself is not that spectacular, right? It's been going down very slowly. So it's not that the bears can say like, wow, we're doing it right now, right? Yes, there's a downtrend, but the bears are weak as fuck in that downtrend. But they are currently a little stronger than the bulls. That's just what it is. However, if you look at what Bitcoin is doing right now, so what's the downtrend? Lower lows, lower highs, right? We were making some pretty nasty lower highs, but we now are here, right? And if we zoom in, then it is like Bitcoin closed, or the high was at 64,734, and this high was at 64,998. So yeah, it's slightly a lower high, but you really want to see it the fuck go away. You really want to see it close above the previous high. So we didn't do that yet, but we are really getting there. We are really getting there. If we look at Bitcoin on the weekly, it is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. And if we look at the bull market support band, you can also see that we are currently above it. We kind of retested it as well. So far, it's a weekly chart. It's Monday morning. So yeah, the week is pretty young still. But so far, we are testing it. And that could suggest like, hey, the next move up could happen. And it could be going until the $68,000 level, man. Not gonna lie, this week could be really interesting. Now, what I find more interesting though is that the dominance is going down right now. So if you look at the dominance over, let's say, the weekly chart, this week pretty red. Last week it was red as well. And if we look at Bitcoin itself, this week a little red, of course, this morning basically, but last week pretty green. So what does that say? It says dominance down, Bitcoin up, which is super well for altcoins. That's what an alt season is. But this is micro scale, of course, right? There's nothing yet. But I tweeted something which I think is pretty interesting. Let me try to find it right here. Yeah, so I said, altcoins still sit at lows on their Bitcoin pair, this cycle, right? This is the cycle for altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, and we are currently sitting at the low. So alt season is not even like, this is not an alt season, of course. However, imagine if this goes up, like it does every cycle. And imagine if that happens when Bitcoin also goes up. Then alt season will blow your mind. 2025 will be insane, and I hope you are prepared, right? And that's just what it is. Like, if you look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, they are sitting at the low, like not the exact lows, of course, but if you look at it here, we were going down pretty hard in this bear market, right? And once Bitcoin bottomed around here, altcoins still went down on their Bitcoin pair, right? So therefore, for a long time in a crypto cycle, even if the money, the USDT bottom is in for Bitcoin or whatever, still not really worth it to be in altcoins, right? That's usually only the post-halving year. And in this case, that's 2025. Now, we are approaching 2025, and it kind of looks like it is bottoming, right? It all lines up so perfectly. It's like beautiful, right? And you could take this further back, and you can see we had resistance, we had support, resistance, 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 support, potential double bottom right here before we go up. So altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, once that goes up, that's an alt season, right? Alt season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. we had that for a little bit from June 2023 till January 2024. And let's take a look. June 2023, which was here, till January 2024, which was here, right? That's where Bitcoin went from 30K to 40K or something like that, right? So although altcoins outperformed Bitcoin a little bit, while Bitcoin went up a little bit, altcoins on the dollar pairs did pretty freaking fantastic back then already, right? You probably have seen some altcoins doing 10x's here and there. While again, Bitcoin did not do something really spectacular, and altcoins on the Bitcoin pair weren't that spectacular as well, right? It was not like an alt season. It was more like some kind of a short-term relief rally before we went down again. And if you look at the altcoin dominance, it makes sense like this. Right, we did not even went to the half of this trend line basically, and this has been a trend line that's been active for at least 7 years, since 2017. But you can even say 2014, so for a full decade, right? So my expectation is, why not for another year from now, right? And if that happens, it means we are getting to the top of this range once again, right? Again, this is not something that's diminishing or anything like that. It just says how much are altcoins dominating the space compared to anything else. And that always rotates. There's a time for stables, right? When the bear market begins. There's a time for Bitcoin, basically when the bear market stops, and the halving, the pre-halving year and the halving year. And then there's a time for altcoins, and that's the post-halving year. And we are approaching that, right? We are approaching that. As you can see here as well, 2021, from the bottom to the top. 2017, from the bottom, well, even here, to the top. Now, 2025, I don't expect much different than that, actually. Why? Well, so far, with anything that, if you would have said that this time is different, wouldn't end well, right? Like, so far, nothing is really different. Yeah, the macro conditions are different, and the reasons why things move are different, but eventually the charts are all the same. And time-wise, we are not early, but chart-wise, we are at the golden spot, like the golden spot. And I'm about to show you. But this is really the golden spot. But for now, the Bitcoin dominance, it had a run, man. It really, really, really had a run. And what kind of stands out to me, what these lines are, is that if you look at the stochastic RSI, and you put it on the weekly, and that's kind of where we are. That's this, by the way. So I need to delete one. You can see that where we are right now is where we were back then, and where we were back then, right? And what happens to the Bitcoin dominance at these points on the stochastic RSI? The dominance here went from 50% to 48%. Here the dominance went from 52 to 50. Here it went from 54-ish to 53-ish, right? That's kind of where we are right now as well. So yeah, the Bitcoin dominance could come down, and that would line up with the bull market support band right here, right? That's not an alt season, of course, right? That's just like any typical short-term downside move that we have seen a lot over the last couple of years, while it was full on altcoins get fucked season, basically. So that's not really stopping yet, actually. But it could have some kind of good preview for you, because it can show you like, hey, altcoins can bounce a little bit now against the Bitcoin pairs, and then it's your job to kind of study like which altcoins are responding best to this small move, because then you can also kind of expect that these altcoins are going to respond really well once the real alt season is going to start. Right now, I said in a couple of videos ago, I said like, hey, I think that alt season is starting, right? And I'm not trying to time it perfectly. I mean, I said it right here, and after that, we had a green candle up, right? So yeah, did I get the timing perfect? No, but it's more that alt season, like, this is the period, right? around, like all I've said, like end of 2024, beginning 2025. We are pretty much there, right? September, it's kind of the end-ish, right? But so it could happen today. It could happen in 3 months. It doesn't really matter. This is the time to stack up on good quality altcoins before they really go up, and they can go up really, really, really hard. And I just think that the Bitcoin dominance, I don't know, man. It looks like it has been so freaking parabolic. It's insane. So you might feel like, yeah, but some altcoins did well. Yeah, because Bitcoin did well, right? These altcoins just follow. But on the Bitcoin pair, most altcoins got wrecked, slaughtered, right? Most. Can you imagine what happens when the Bitcoin dominance finally goes down again? Because that will happen. And will this be, I see a lot of people say like, well, it's going to be the biggest alt season ever. Let me give you my opinion. This is by far not going to be the biggest alt season ever. In fact, this is going to be the smallest alt season ever. Nevertheless, you can make a lot of money. Why do I say that? Well, we had 2 alt seasons, right? In 2017, the Bitcoin dominance basically crashed from 95% to 35%. So from the highest point it ever been to the lowest point it's ever been, right? This was by far the biggest alt season we ever saw and we ever will get, right? We will never see a bigger alt season than this. Why? There were not a lot of altcoins back then, right? So all the money rotating from Bitcoin into altcoins, that had a massive impact. And for a lot of people, it was new. So everybody was like, altcoins, altcoins, altcoins. Nowadays, people understand more like, hey, altcoins are maybe nice for a year, but overall, Bitcoin is the only thing that you can keep your money in and that it stays safe within this crypto space. And even that's not guaranteed, right? But that's for altcoins. There's not an altcoin that does that. Then we had an alt season in 2021 where the Bitcoin dominance went from 73% to 38%. Huge alt season. Right now, I just don't think that the Bitcoin dominance is going here or higher and then gonna do this, right? If it does, then it could be not the smallest alt season. But before that needs to happen, your current altcoin bags have to get completely fucking raped. Like, I don't even want to like put this like an adult does. I just want to say the word rape because that's just what will happen, right? Everything that happened with your altcoins, for this complete cycle basically will happen again. I just don't see that happen, right? I see the Bitcoin dominance getting rejected at around this area and then go down. And maybe not even back to the lows. Maybe not. I don't know. So it will be the smallest alt season. However, there's a flip side to it. And that's that, and let's overlay Bitcoin on this because then it makes a little more sense. And that's the bullish scenario right here. Here we had this alt season when Bitcoin basically went from, 6K to 60K, right? However, if we now get an alt season, it's when Bitcoin goes from 60K to whatever it's going to be, 100, 150 to 300, right? And you might say, well, yeah, but here, it was a 10x and here it will be a 3, 4, or 5x. Yeah, but the market cap and the amount of money that is coming into the market is now a lot more than here. And that's, of course, going to have a huge effect on your small cap altcoins, right? If the dominance does this, it could easily be that a $1 trillion market cap goes from Bitcoin into altcoins. While here, what was it? Maybe a couple $100 billion, right? So there's a lot more money coming into actual altcoins this time probably. So although the alt season is smaller, your altcoins on the dollar pairs could have bigger gains. And that's just because they're sitting way more money in crypto right now, especially in Bitcoin. And that's for a big part coming into altcoins when alt season happens. And then you might feel like it's all going to be unrealistic because it takes a little bit from Bitcoin to put into altcoins, and your altcoins 5x overnight, right? And it's gonna be unrealistic. It's gonna be like, whoa, these valuations are stupid. Yeah, but green candles make the chart go up even more, right? If people see green, they buy. Fuck the fundamentals. And that's going to cause that domino effect that I think it's going to cause. So therefore, I think 2025 is going to be off the charts, literally. Like, it's going to be like, woohoo, all right. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be really crazy. So I'm freaking bullish, actually. But what about short term? Look, okay, so there's a lot to catch up on. We had the rate cuts. Now, the rate cuts itself is nothing spectacular in the short term, actually. I showed this before, but last cycle when we had rate cuts, the market tanked with 50%. Right now, could it be that the same is going to happen right now? Well, so far it didn't, so it won't, right? It also didn't like really right away happened or so. Matter of fact, we had rate cuts and Bitcoin first went up from 10K to 13K and then it tanked 50%. So it's still possible, of course. However, I don't know because it just doesn't it doesn't add up with the rest of the cycle, which I'm about to show you what this video is all about. And that chart is showing me like if I have to trade off of that chart and I'm about to show you, I would say, okay, I'm going fucking all in today, actually, but that's not so wise, but that's really bullish. But we had rate cuts and that was for a part already priced in, right? However, the money that comes from the actual rate cuts isn't here yet, right? That takes time. And that's something that we cannot price in. And therefore, over the long term, these rate cuts are like super bullish for the market. And also, last time we got rate cuts, it was more like, yeah, we get a recession. And now they're not doing that. Now they're saying, hey, we do rate cuts, but, you know, the economy is healthy. That's fucking bullish. The only downside is that last time we got rate cuts, we also got QE. And that's when altcoins completely skyrocket. Now they still continue with QT so far. And look, the thing is, we will get QE. Quantitative, I can never pronounce that word, but easy. We will get that. And if it takes another 4 months, yeah, all you have to do is be like, okay, got another 4 months to DCA and prepare. Like the longer your preparation mode, the bigger the rewards that come after that, right? I also wanted to go all, moon today. But I also know that if it moons in like 6 months from now, I will make more money. And I don't need it like today. So yeah, whatever. The market does what it does, right? But then, altcoins. Look, it is not... I want to be really bullish, but I also want to be careful because I don't want to make the mistake that I have been talking about that a lot of people are making the last half year. And that's that people are getting bullish at lower highs and then get wrecked. So I want to get that out of the way first. It's not that I'm here like, bear motion is here again. Definitely not. But this mentality has saved my fucking crypto ass for the last couple of 6 months. Right? And that's that every time we were in a downtrend, right? And every time we were making a low high, people were like super bullish. Timeline completely bullish. YouTubers like, buy this, buy that. And then we go down again, right? Everybody depressed. Sentiment is bad. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Everybody feels disappointed. Then we get a new lower high and people are super euphoric again. This time it's back. And then we go down and that goes on and on and on. And everything we so far did, so don't get it twisted, everything we just did actually is just made a lower high so far, right? I'm not saying like, hey, this will again be a lower high and we go down. But I am saying, hey guys, just don't fight the trend because that has completely wrecked everybody the last 6 months. So why would you do it now, right? If you want to be bullish, wait for confirmation. We had a higher low, right? So that's good. But then again, we also had a higher low right here and here. And you see what happened, right? And that's because we did not made a high. And that's what I am really waiting for, because I'm getting too excited. So of course, like if I buy now and it does break out, yeah, I bought lower, right? Instead of waiting for it to break out and then buy. But there's a very good chance that you're buying right now in the middle of a downtrend and that it goes way lower. Like, that's not like some people say, like, yeah, but that's DCAing, right? You DCAing is accumulating, right? And accumulating, you do that during an accumulation phase. And I said many times on the channel, and this shows it perfectly again. Market cycle has 4 phases, right? We have an accumulation phase, we have an uptrend, we have a small distribution phase, and we have a downtrend. And then the accumulation phase starts again, where we go sideways. But again, this is not sideways yet. It's still a downtrend. So wait for it to go sideways. It's not that this thing is going to break out and then just does this, probably, right? Usually breaks out, retest, go a little sideways, and then accumulate here. And there's nothing like that you really have to be scared of when it comes to missing out or anything. That's if you are already in the market and trying to fill up your bags on lows with the rest of your money like I am. If I would have no money in this market so far, I would say get the fuck in the market right now. Right? Because this is not the moment to not be in the market. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. A lot of people are trying to time stuff, right? They look at others, Bitcoin, for example, and they feel like, yeah, no, it's going lower. They look at the total 3 minus USDT divided by Bitcoin, and they be like, I mean, look at this chart like this. Look at this. Look at it. They look at it, and they be like, yeah, but it's going here. Once it's here, I'm going to buy. What if it does this? Then you miss this whole cycle just because you wanted to time this. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. You don't need to time the lows. That's not what you should do. Not. So I would say be in the market now. Like, and then there's the chart that I wanted to show you. And that's this one. You have seen this before, right? But this is like, this chart can be inaccurate because there's another chart that's a little showing something different than this. But if this chart is going to be accurate, then this is the moment, right? And this is Bitcoin, the cycles for Bitcoin after the bottom. The purple line is the current cycle. The green line is a previous cycle, and the orange line is the cycle before that. So here Bitcoin came from the bottom, and it ran up like this, right? And these cycles are pretty correlated. Here, this one was moving a little too hard, so it came down, got in line with the other cycle, and then they moved up together. Here, it went too fast again, got in line again, etc. Look at this. We were moving a little too fast right here, so we needed to cool down, right? Since March. So why do you think we look at Bitcoin? And why do you think we have this boring, like everybody be like, oh, it's so boring, it's never been this boring. Blah, blah, blah. Look how Bitcoin ran up like crazy from 15K to 74K. Like, that was pretty parabolic. It was running ahead of the other cycles. And now it's just like kind of getting back in line, right? And now it is exactly where the other 2 cycles were as well. And this was also the point where the other 2 cycles started to go up, right? So if we have been following the previous 2 cycles for the last almost 700 days, okay, 700 days. What if it keeps on doing that? I mean, accurate for 700 days. Hey, what's another 200 days or so, right? Like, come on, don't, like, have faith in the trends. Well, if it does that, it's kind of where we go up, right? So that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. And we just see it, like, you can see it, right? Like, if you look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin last week, Bitcoin was up 7.5%, right? If you look at altcoins, last week was up 9%. So, and that's because the Bitcoin dominance went down a little freaking bit. Like it was barely red, right? So run it back. Very realistic chance that Bitcoin is going to moon from this point, right? Very realistic chance that Bitcoin is going up. If Bitcoin is going up, right? If Bitcoin is going up and the dominance kind of stays where it is, then altcoins do pretty well already. So if Bitcoin goes up and the dominance eventually goes down, because look at this freaking chart, this looks like I would not invest in this if this was a coin. Likely to go down. Then imagine how altcoins are going to look. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be really, really, really crazy. So I will work on a video where I will, well, 3 videos actually, where I will make a fictional $1,000 portfolio, $10,000 portfolio, and whatever, $50,000 or $100 maybe dollar portfolio. Not as financial advice, but for inspiration, right? Where you, like, I think it's most important, and I think you do already, but I think it's most important that you understand how the cycle behaves. Overcomplicating things has never worked out. What has always worked out? Look at the 4-year cycle. Look how it moves. Look how Bitcoin moves. Look how the dominance move, right? Look how altcoins move when the dominance does something compared to Bitcoin. It has always been the freaking same, right? Look how altcoins on their Bitcoin pair move, right? Look how altcoins on their Ethereum pair move. Is it worth to buy Ethereum, right? Or other altcoins? A lot of people always say other altcoins. But hey, these are risky. They can go down a lot. Ethereum is more safe than that. And there is a time where Ethereum outperforms. Reshuffling can get you so much money already before we get the big bull market. If you understand this, then you will own this market. And then the coins that you are in are not even that important, actually. However, once you understand this, then you can take a look at certain positions. So I will make these videos to show you what I would do. Again, there's no right and wrong, but just what I would do. So let me know how much kind of dollar portfolio you would like to see, and I'll do that. For now, enjoy the ride. And again, be careful. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really freaking fun. In the meantime, though, we can go down. But I mean, so far, it has shown strength. It has shown strength. So the downtrend might be over. I tend to believe it. But then again, everything is possible. I don't want to whine about that. Thanks for watching. Please like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Turn the bell notification on. See you soon.